Alright, this is my Mini Talon. I did a quick walkthrough of my setup last year, but there's a few changes that I did on the setup, and I just want to go through it. Triple Threat RC, or Bob, asked me if I could go through my Mini Talon setup, so I said, you know what, I'll do it since I had a few changes. Maybe it's worth to put it on video or have it documented. So let's start here in front. I have here GoPro 4 black. This is basically just recording my HD video. This is a 600 TVL Sony camera. I think I got this from Surveil Zone, and it works really well for my long-range rigs. This is a 800 milliwatt 1.3 VTX that I think got from Ready-Made RC, and a blue beam antenna, right hand circular polarized. This version has the one that long for stem. So if you can see there at the back, that is a telemetry module that I got from eBay. I didn't get the original one from 3DR because it's quite expensive. This one works for how I want to use it. Basically, just when I'm on site, I'd rather have my laptop, and if I need to do some fine-tuning using Mission Planner, I basically connect to the Pixhawk through this telemetry module. Now back there, I'm using a this is an just focus there a bit. And if you can see, that's an E-Flight 30 amp ESC, and I'm pretty happy with I've been using it for a while, actually for 2 years. It has been moved from one plane to another. Been on a Bixler, I think it's been on a Phantom FX61, but yeah, I've been very happy with the performance of that ESC. So let's move here. This is a BAC from Sky RC. I got this quite a long time ago, and I said, you know, might as well use it. So basically that's feeding off power, if you can see, to this side of the Pixhawk. I'm using a Pixhawk controller for this Mini Talon, and you know, as they say, coming from the tornadoes, the vectors, I've also used MFD. There's quite a bit of a learning curve configuring this, because there's a lot of options and features that you may or may not use. For my case, I'm just using the flight modes. All I basically need from a flight controller is stabilize mode, or return to launch, cruise, all those kind of things. So there's a lot more a Pixhawk can do, like auto land, auto launch. You know, it could be used for mapping or surveying. I don't really use that regularly, but I did try, and I have a couple of videos showing how to configure that in Mission Planner, and how to engage those flight modes. Here in front, I have here a step down transformer, basically because I'm using a 4S for this airframe, and I need to bring it down to 12 volts. So that is the one that feeds power through this white connector that basically goes to the FPV camera and the VTX. I did that because my VTX based on the specs, it can take only 12 volts. So I want to make sure I bring the voltage down. Now that I would say a disadvantage of this flight controller compared to a Vector, because the Vector, the wiring harness, provides you I think two 12 volts and one 5 volts straight coming off from the flight controller. Now on this side of the wing I have a GPS module. This is not an original 3DR. If you notice, that's from eBay. I think I got it from $27, really cheap. It works well. Gets 16-18 satellites in less than 2 minutes, so I'm pretty happy with that. Here, this is my Dragonlink receiver, and I basically fabricated a coaxial cable there that goes inside and comes out here, and this is a homemade dipole. I started building my own antennas for my long-range rigs because first, I find it cheaper than getting those Dragonlink's dipole antennas, and I could customize the length to whatever I want, rather than getting a long Dragonlink dipole and cutting it and then resoldering the SMA connector. This airframe, I have a Sunny Sky motor on its way, which I got from Banggood, but this one I've been flying for a while, and this is a 2830 NTM motor, if you can see there, and spinning a 9x6 aeronaut carbon fiber prop. I am getting cruise mode about 45 to 50 kilometers per hour and sipping less than 5 amps, so it is a pretty efficient combination, although I have to try the Sunny Sky motor that is on its way. So that's just a scoop. Basically there's a hole there. Make sure I could pump in air in there when in flight. Make sure that the motor is cooled down. Now if you notice, the Talon's fuse is gotta get tight once you put all your equipment in, or your FPV gear in. I had this cut and just taped it so that I can access the ESC in case it blows up or I need to replace it. It's just basically open. I don't think I even use a hinge on this. That's just provision like that, so I can access the ESC. This is I flipped the plane upside down to give you some sort of idea. Look at that. That's some abuse there, but the wheel is still intact and it's still good. There's nothing really special on this on the side of the plane. I'm using 30G Metal Gear servos, and I got this from the local hobby shop. It works really well for me. It's just easier when you're trying to adjust the control surfaces. So this is I guess like $4 a pair, which I got from a local hobby shop. And this is just cut foam that I put in front to protect my my servo and the control rod. A lot of people online who viewed my videos keep on asking me what is my CG. I don't really follow this sticker. I get my CG from the servo wire here, and it has worked really well for me, and I've always used. I never get CG from this sticker that is like installed in the factory. I also got this from Hobby King. It's just skids, plastic skids, and it works really well. It protects this side of you know, the wing when you land in gravel or sand or anything rough other than tall grass. I got this idea from one of the pilots that I fly with. His name is Dominic. So it's I've been using this in all my planes. On this side, I also installed one, and it helps protect this you know, protruding part of the UHF antenna. So that's really good as well. Nothing really special here on the belly. It's just this is orange duct tape that I used to reinforce this part and this back part here. So you could see there's a lot of wear and tear and abuse already. This one is really key. I have to reinforce this plywood, and if you notice, I mean, it has really taken some abuse. What I did was to cut this is like a plastic, this is a hose, a small hose that you can get from a hardware store, and then I cut a piece and then cut it in the middle and then try to slip it in there until here, hot glued it, and it has it held this piece of plywood for quite a while now. I tried the same approach on my Big Talon, but apparently it didn't work because my Big Talon is a lot heavier. I had to, this one is an aluminum tube that was bent to the shape of the plywood and then hot glued up to this part. So that worked well for my Big Talon. So yeah, that is the setup of this Mini Talon that I've been flying mid-range, long range, and I will probably build another one with probably a vector installed in it.